obviously he is the wisest of the wise, because he actually understands and can feel the life of the earth around him and can communicate with it. And you see that even in the story of the Quran, that Solomon is walking with his troops and the ants are like, everybody move! Solomon's troops are coming. He won't even know we're coming and they're going to kill us. And Solomon's stopping his troops and trying not to bust out laughing because he's laughing at the ants and listening to them. And he's thinking, oh my God, it's so hilarious. It's such a beautiful story. I mean, can you imagine that kind of understanding and wisdom of Solomon? Now Solomon then learns how to do what? By being able to control the elements of the earth, he gains the knowledge, and this is part of the secret knowledge or the hidden knowledge that some of these scholars and people normally don't share with the public in the story on how they learn these things and what specifically they are. But it's important for you to understand in the truth of the way everything really works, what actually happened. Solomon learned how to be able to control the alien races, how to be able to control the jinns, how to be able to harness and use them, enslave them, as they has always tried to force enslavement upon man, and we have always gotten ourselves enslaved by our systems, right, and all the other societies. Solomon learns how to bind the aliens, how to bind the jinns. Now, according to the correct references, he learned some kind of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, from knowing the true powers of everything that the Lord made, and is able to create a ring and use what? The knowledge of the truth, the knowledge of the Word of God, the Word, to be able to do great feats. And with that, he creates a ring, a circular ring. Now, since we talk about stories in different ways and reference them in different ways, you'll see this kind of mythology is always there and part of the misdirection and miscommunication. You'll see it in Tolkien trilogy, right? The concept of the underworld and the dark side. It's given to you there as a fictional story, but the truth is always stranger than fiction, right? And so it's a misdirection again. And when you don't see that misdirection, then you fail to recognize the truth. And also what? It stops you from searching for the truth. And it's a classic ploy, and we see it on the communication world right now and everything around us. And so Solomon uses the ring. One ring to rule them, one ring to control them, one ring to find them, and in the darkness bind them. What is that referring to? That's referring to the ability of Solomon and his ring to be able to control the dark forces of Satan. And so the next time this boy is attacked by the alien wraith who comes to psychically vampire suck him or drain him, he runs to Solomon, and Solomon takes the ring and captures the jinn and takes binding control of him. And after taking control of this demon or evil jinn, he then starts to control and catch others of them. And slowly we get to the point where Solomon is controlling many of the devils. And according to some tales, there was a point where Suleiman, the great prophet, got control of Lucifer. And in some of the testaments and some of the lost scriptures, and we don't know if these are authenticated. See, that's the thing. It's hard to tell. But in some of them, they refer to him as Beelzebub, of course, right? But they refer to Solomon finally capturing and enslaving Beelzebub for a time. But what did Solomon do with this power? Now, we've been saying that all of the other ancient societies that we're talking about had all been working with the other races. And had all been using alien technology and interdimensional being jinn technology. From the pyramids and their triangular structures, and the Sumerians and their rituals, and the Mayans, and you name it and we can go over it, and the symbolism is always there. Them mixing with the jinns, or the reptoids, or the shapeshifters, or the other races, and using power of what? Sorcery and darkness to get fake idols and stars and sun and other kinds of dark fire magic technology. Now Solomon, on the earth, all these other great monumental structures are there as tributes to false gods. And Solomon decides that once and for all there should be built a temple to the Lord Most High. And not just any house. Solomon builds the greatest house to the worship of the Lord Most High that has ever existed on the earth. Solomon builds the most magnificent mosque, the Temple of Solomon, built with the knowledge and the power, magnificent in structure and size and ability, using the aliens that he had captured to create the most monumentous, beautiful place. He uses what? Well, he gets the aliens to use all of their abilities to find the greatest treasures in the world. And even specifically, if we're going to tell you some of the truth, modern day UFOs have always been talked about, but then now everybody's starting to admit and realize, well, these interdimensional beings are just as easily able to go into the water because their technology is different than ours, and they go through water, and it's different, and we're not really sure what's going on. And so, yes, the jinns can go in and out of water as well, just like us, but they possibly don't have to breathe the same way as we do as being men, but we're finding very clearly references that they can go in and out of water. So Solomon uses some of the alien races to dig out pearls and beauties and treasures from the oceans, and the Temple of Solomon is built. And the Temple of Solomon is built, but like I said, he uses the other alien races to build the monumental structure, enslaving them. For the first time on earth, the son of Adam has enslaved the army of Satan. For the first time on earth, the believers in the one true Lord have the upper hand. For the first time in this war that our father Adam has been teaching his children from his two sons, Cain and Abel, and they messed up the lesson, may Allah have mercy on them, and started fighting amongst each other. For the first time, Suleiman, the great prophet, has control of our planet, and the jinns are not in power. And so he builds the Temple of Suleiman. But like I said, not just using the aliens as slaves, not just using them and degrading them as slaves as they had done to our believing people from the very beginning, and confusing us and morphing us and tricking the royalty and leaders to use bad knowledge and technology while enslaving the masses. And we remain ignorant. But Solomon enslaves them. But because he had even that greater knowledge of the nature of everything that God made, he builds the actual temple in a way that is spiritually, supernaturally, holy and pure. He builds the holiest, most magnificent temple as a tribute to the one true Lord that mankind has ever heard of or conceived. And he uses the best of all of the elements of creation to form this magnificent temple, of which the knowledge and the abilities of that which he built inside is greater than any knowledge or of magician or wizard or sorcerer or seer or thinker that man has ever imagined. Solomon knew the knowledge of all things, and the knowledge of all things of the earth was built into the temple to be a tribute, each thing showing its miraculous nature and ability. Every plant and creation Solomon could talk to. We've seen Khidr being able to communicate with growth, but Solomon had the ability of all the dimensions and was able to use that as man can make things with the world around us. We make things. This is our world.